Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips for a weekend preview. We're looking at, black type racing all around Australia. We've got Group 1 racing in Adelaide, good racing in Queensland. We're at Hawkesbury in Sydney and Sandown Hillside down in Melbourne, but good programs at all of the meetings. Beaver, how's the week treated you?
Yeah, not too bad, mates. Punching along all right. So looking forward to the weekend. And as you said, some good little races in all different states this weekend. So some interesting racing and hopefully a few winners for us out there.
Yeah, fun time of year where you've got good racing every 10 minutes, basically. So
yeah, they crossed over a bit.
Yeah, so it's good. We've got plenty of Sydney form bleeding up to Queensland, and we'll focus in on some of those feature meetings in the coming weeks, the Stradbroke and the 10,000 and whatever else. But for now, we'll kick off at Hawkesbury against my better judgment. We're going back there.
Yep.
That's a good track. It is rails in the true. We're scared. I'm scared a little bit of the repeat of the hot rail leaders we've seen the last few weeks, or at least rails in run. It is a better quality of horse here, though, so they probably can run on if they're good enough or get to the outside fence. We tend to see it's either inside or outside fence at Hawkesbury. So I guess end of the day, we'll see what we find. We'll kick off with the Clarendon Stakes, a 2-year-old 1,400-metre race to start the day. Did you have a thought here?
Yeah, look, I'll probably be on the same thing that you're going to tip here in Glen Eagles, which you liked midweek and a scratch for this. Pretty impressive last start, obviously kept for this. Look, it's won at Hawkesbury, beat Overpass, who's franked that form. So, look, it looks the obvious choice in the first race. So hopefully get away to a good start there.
Yep, not much to add. It's got the setup at the track. It'll, it's the horse to beat. Hoover Lucy sat outside lead here a couple of weeks back. It'll get the lead here and run well as well. But I'm with you. Glen Eagles are pretty keen, for all the reasons I outlined 2 days ago. Race number 2, benchmark 78 over the 1,500 metres, where we see probably the best horses not having the best runs here. Trent's keen here. A good friend of the show, Trent's keen on Spencer at big odds, back onto the dry track. Couldn't find it myself. Did you have a thought here?
I don't know how he found that. He probably had the page upside down or something. I don't know. But look, if I had to have something, I've gone for Kerwin's Lane, resuming. I think Kerwin's Lane's the best horse in this race. Form last preparation was pretty good. Gets the 3 kilo claim here. I'm hoping it's fit enough first up here. Has won before first up. But if you go back through some of it probably does prefer it a little bit further than this. But, when last back in work, I was up at the Gold Coast running a few lengths behind the likes of Paradis. Look, it trialled well enough at Randwick just over a week ago. So it could be ready for a first up tilt. And I think if they can run on here, it could be finishing over the top of them.
Yeah, I like what you said there. It does have a win over the mile over Spirit Ridge, who's a talented horse. Trials were okay. If they'd, I set out to try and find Kerwin's Lane. The trials, he was pushed along one of them and made ground okay. I was probably looking for a little bit more to really declare it for a horse that's probably going to be back and last. But definitely, I guess at the price we got here, $7, I think is about the right price. I ended up going back to Arcana. I ended up saying that was in the wrong part of the track at Kensington, where it was just sort of kept to the inside. All that form came down the outside, or all the winners came down the outside. Achiever came through that race and was placed in a group race on the weekend. Isafar came through that race and bolted in up in Queensland, which I sadly missed. Nash goes on, sits close enough, and I think it's up and going. It's it's not necessarily one of my horses, but I think it's here to run well. And then the 2 back markers, Saigon, I would have been much keener on, but it's Cathy on back last. I'd want double figures. And Kerwin's Lane, if it's $8 or $9, I'd probably entertain for all the reasons you've said.
Well, you'll get double figures, Saigon, because it already is double figures.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a feeling it's the best horse in the race, but again, back Cathy O'Hara. There's some question marks for me. It was off the rails on the rails day at Canterbury, so they're all forgives. Probably My main play will be Arcana and then something on the two we've talked about. Race number 3 is the Highway. I'm leaving this alone. Are you dipping your toe in?
No, thank you.
Race number 4 is the benchmark 78 over the 800 meters. What a collection of horses we've got here. Having spoken about Kathy, though, I'm actually going to back her here. I think the Yangtze Rapids, the one to beat, springboarding off the nice win midweek. There's a lot of, plotters in this race. I think it'll go straight to the front. Around Hawkesbury, that's no problem, and will be very hard to run past.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you here. I think it looks fit enough here. Steps up the extra few hundred meters. Looks to get the right run, and these are a lot of plotters in this race. The only other danger is the top weight. It's an overseas horse, just getting up to speed here in Australia. Don't know if it's quite ready yet. So Yangtze Rapids for me looks the horse to beat.
Yeah, the one that is the unknown, just because it was off the rails at Canterbury. Was never going to run well over that distance and hit the line fine. I guess we'll see, get a better feel for it tomorrow. A few of these are quickly up in distance as well. So the up and goer, we both found it there. The Hawkesbury Crown at Group 3 over the 1,300 metres is race 5. For me, 2 hopes in this race. And they are, the fresh horse, a theory, the market order, but a theory just missed Crone before going out in Queensland. Obviously, that form's pretty good now. And trials were great. Trialled here, set up. I think it's trialled here to be set up for this. The only concern is maybe 1,300 first up. I know it's accepted in the next race over the mile, over the 1,000 as well. The only danger for me is Sweet Deal, who returned a little bit of form last time, gets the lead here, gets Nash back on for Glenn Boss, and around $5. I think there's only 2 hopes, and that's why I'm going to play the race. What about yourself?
Yeah, couldn't find anything different to you there. I think a theory looks to be the horse to beat here, based on its form last preparation. Was outstanding, real purple patch. If it can run the 1,300 first up, no reason it can't. Then it's certainly the horse to beat. Got the inside alley, so it's just going to be off the pace. And Sweet Deal get the tag.
Yep. Josh Parr is as good a judge as pace anyone, so I'll say he'll be right on Sweet Deal's back, basically. And have last shot. The 1,100 metre Gold Rush is race 6, first leg of the quaddie, where again, Trent's one for finding these improvers, but his message to say that he thinks Adelaide will improve here. Back onto the dry. How have you lined up all these girls?
Yeah, it's a pretty open affair. I've gone for Varda. I think it's the best horse in the race again. I tried to find something outside of Varda, and I just kept coming back to it. I thought it was drawn well enough. It's, again, a horse that put a fair few wins together last preparation before sort of stepping up into better company than this. Trials have been okay. Hasn't really been tested. That's a decent sign for me. Probably its best trial was the last one. They tried it at Hawkesbury, which is a good sign, and I certainly think it's going to be the hardest to beat.
Yeah, like you, I'm looking for a few. Everything you said right about Varda. I've come up with Blazing Miss. Probably gets a really nice run here. Trials are both pretty good, and I think there's a lot of pace here, and you can camp just behind them and just grab those leaders late. Varda on the New South Wales maps gets drawn 3 back the fence. Maybe that won't be too bad to a place to be if the rails are hot. If everything said right. And the big one here that I'll back at 50s is St. Covered Spirit. I found Kathy again, but just because it shouldn't be 40 to 1 or 50 to 1, which it currently is. Wasn't far off, just before it went out, wasn't far off Skylab, who we've seen that form stack up. Just Jason Cole can get some of these at big prices into places. So they're the 2 for me.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting that Cummings has saved a couple of horses of this quality of Varda, a theory, for first up tilts out at Hawkesbury.
And they've all
probably had him out there at his
and all trialled.
They've all trialled at Hawkesbury. They're probably sitting out at Agnes Banks' property out there. Yeah, I think that's a really good line to suggest that these are actually being targeted to resume here, which suggests to me they should be ready to win.
Agree. Even back when Paul Snowden was at Darley at the time, they used to clean up this race day all the time. I guess training not far from home and trialing here. So I noticed that too, all the way through. All these freshies have trialed here and are all set up to run well. So good angle for the day, I'd say. The Hawkesbury Guineas is the 1400 metre Group 3. You're with the favourite Ellsberg off its impressive return.
Yeah, super impressive return. It had trialled well. Look, it did control the race first up, but geez, it just brained him. It was just way too good. Did everything right, and I don't see any reason that it's not going to get something similar in this race. It's got the 4-gate. Clark's is going to go forward, either take up the lead, sit outside the lead, and it'll be too good for these.
Yeah, great return. It's Tim Clark from a wide gate on a leader, or a middle gate on a leader, we'll say in this case. He's on a wide one later, but gets, I think, complete control, and we'll have a lot of these chasing from a long way out. I think Rainbow Connection might be the second best horse in the race and will run well. But yeah, Ellsberg, best of the day for me.
Yeah, me too.
The Hawkesbury Gold Cup is the other feature of the day. Over the mile, a lot of these have been chewed up over the carnival and turned back up here, which means I'm going to look for one that's only third up and both runs this time have been pretty good, and that's Royal Celebration. I think the market's found it as well. I think it's close to favourite, is it? But I think it's here to run.
Yeah, it is favourite
up, and we'll do so. A lot of these were at the back end of a long carnival, and a horse like Purple Sector would have been all over a year ago, but I don't think it's come back with us. So Royal Celebration on top for me.
Yeah, pretty tricky affair here, I think. Look, you probably found Royal Celebration there off the back of some pretty decent form. I just thought I'd look a little bit wider in the market in a race of this nature. I did look similarly, as you said, for a couple of horses fresh. They don't have, and Purple Sector was one of them. Doesn't look to have come up as well this preparation, but it is only 2 starts. It was a 5th and nowhere, but it was in a way better quality fields than this race. Yao Dash and Gem Song Batiga wasn't far off them. And then prior to that, trialled reasonably well against a horse that did come out and win in Signal Fox. So I'm not that perturbed by the fact that Purple Sector, I think it's third up, ready to go well. And the other horse that I thought that's going okay at the moment looks like Elvis. I think it's been freshened up for this after a barrier trial. Prior to that, again, raced in pretty good company behind the likes of Shared Ambition and I Am Superman. Think It Over races. Again, there's none of those horses in this race. So I'm expecting it to improve remarkably. So both at around double figure odds. I'd be playing Purple Sector, looks like Elvis.
Yep, looks like Elvis just seems to threaten it, has threatened all the way through those sort of handicap group races. So yeah, you might have found a nice one there. Nice bet. Let's wrap up the day for benchmark 78 over 1,300 meters at Hawkesbury. I'm going to put the impressive import Grand Rumoir on top, winning against the bias at Canterbury. Reeled in a horse that's Frank de Form since. Who was it there? Willowheart ran okay on the weekend, on Wednesday, I should say. But to do that at Canterbury, they weren't doing it on the day. Gave him a start. Posies up from an inside gate here. I think it's mapped to sit 3 back, which is great. Should beat these. I think it's better than 78 grade, and it'll win this one.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. Almost made it my best bet of the day, but I thought Ellsberg was. But yeah, this is just as good a bet.
Cool. I thought if there's a danger, it might be Tycoonist off no trials, fresh, jumping out and leading from that gate. But yeah, let's wrap that up then. As you said, one of the better bets on the day. My best will be Ellsberg, as you've said yours is. I'm going to make my value Blazing Miss. And what's your value for the day?
My value is going to be Looks Like Elvis.
Oh, nice.
Race 8, number 8.
Should we do a team quaddy?
We can do a team quaddy.
Okay, first leg. I'm going wide in the first one. 1, 8,
Yeah, good idea.
9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Any of them you want to knock out?
That's fine.
Just 3 and 5 in the second leg, which is Ellsberg
Yep.
and Rainbow Connection. 1, 2,
Happy days.
5, and 7, which is Graceful Glamour, just in case it is on pace, same as Archidemus. 5, I threw 5 Costello in because I didn't like anything else in the race, and 7 Royal Celebration. But I'm happy to take out those top 2 and put Looks Like Elvis in instead, if you like.
Take out Costello and put in Looks Like Elvis.
Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 7, and 8. And home with 1, 6, 8, 12, and 13. But obviously, we're both keen on Grand Rumar, so we can strip that down a little bit.
1, 6, 8.
The test with Nash leading. 12 is Tycoonist, I mentioned, and 13 is the Waller Resumer, Katea.
So what numbers did you have in the last?
1, 6, 8, 12, 13.
No, we'll just go 6, 8, 12.
6, 8, 12. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. So there's our quaddy numbers for Hawkesbury. Let's head down to the Sandown Hillside track for progroupracing.com.au. Check them out for their free tips and extensive guides. And we've got a good track with the rail in the true, which at Hillside is as fair as hopefully we can get it there. The Sandown track tends to show itself pretty quickly if there's going to be a leader's bias. So we'll work that out, but I've treated it as fair for now. We'll kick off with the 2-year-olds in race 1. A few of these have accepted in Adelaide, so I haven't seen there's been some scratchings yet. I'll have a quick look now. But did you have anything to start with?
No, I left that alone purely because you're right. There's a few that have accepted in Adelaide. Don't know what this field will line up with, and I wasn't overly keen anyway, so I left that out.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to make a case for number 2 here, Kiardi. First prep was chasing Animo and Paul Eel. That form's okay. Then is set up here with the track and distance win pretty dominantly coming back. Blake McDougall on's a tick. He's riding really well, Blake. And around a $6 mark, I thought it's a nice way to start the day. But the 2 others in the market have accepted in Adelaide, so there might be not much left of that price by the time we get there. 1,000 metres over race 2 is over the 1,000 metres as well. Anything here?
Yeah, I've gone for Whip Crack Away. Goes really well fresh, well prepared for this. I was a little bit perturbed by the jockey booking and the 3 kilo claim, but does come into 54.5. So the weight helps. But interestingly enough, young apprentice going on that. But look, it's won 4 from 7. Goes well fresh, as I mentioned. Prepared well for this. I think it could be really hard to beat and probably just has a little bit more ability than some of these.
Yeah, cool. I don't really like the race. If I had to have a bet, it might be the course and distance set up with Harlem Blues from the inside gate for Michael Poy, but not overly enamored there. The next few pretty good betting races though. Race number 3, 1,300 meter benchmark 84. We saw Cordelia return to form with a nice win, and I think it'll win again here. This is a weaker race and should be very hard to beat.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you there. Gets the services of Will Price and the 2 kilo claim. Again, gets in well weighted, drawn the inside gates, back to form, 3rd up. Everything points towards Cordelia. The market's found it and should be winning.
Anything for the stays in race number 4?
Look, I thought Bondi Sands should be hard to beat. Didn't do much its first run in Australia after coming from some okay form over in Great Britain. But the step up in distance to 2100 last start was right up its alley. Turned its form around, hit the line really well there. Gets even further this start out to the 2400. I think that will certainly suit. Drawn well enough to get a good run. I think it's hardest to beat.
Yeah, nothing else really has a setup I'm interested in, so I thought I had it on top 2. Yeah, it was not a bad win, pretty brave win, and Blue Ocean came out and won on the weekend or last weekend. So if you like your form of the franked variety, that's certainly got it. Race number 5 over the 1400 meters is sees a clash of the impressive dice roll, which won I guess, an average race in impressive style. Are you with it, or are you looking elsewhere?
No, I have gone for Dice Roll, the Hong Kong horse that's now back in Australia. It was a very good first up, as you said, weaker affair, but it was good. It had trialled well of some average form in Hong Kong. Some of these horses have a habit of doing that. We saw the one in Adelaide that's been doing it. What's his name? Reynolds, who's come from there and gone very well and killing it at the moment. So I'm hoping Dice Roll can back it up again here.
Yeah, cool. Well, the market order's close to right. I think for me the danger's Circoni. It's coming back off group form. It doesn't have a lot of first up form, but it's been racing in Group 1 and Group 2 company for the last 2 years, just about. And this is coming back in an average race where it's going to probably lead. I think it's the only danger. So they're the two. Two I was interested in as well.
Look, the form around some of these horses in this race is absolutely awful.
Yes.
If you go through the field, like there's none of these horses that have won a race in their last 5 or 6 starts, except for Dice Roll. So outside of it, they're a pack of non-winners, and it was impressive first up. I just think it kind of stands out.
Well, I'm just looking here. I think the aggregate days since last win, if looking through all his fields, something over 2,000 days. A few haven't won for 1,000 themselves, so it's actually be more closer to 3,000. So yeah, winners. That's why I thought, Dice Roll, and then the leader Circoni will be the other one that, if they don't want to win it, at least it's at the front of them.
Yep.
Kick off the quaddie down here with 1,300 meter benchmark 78 for the girls. Charlize comes off the impressive win at the track. I'd been making case for it all prep. It put it all together and won. It did have the rail that day, but did it in pretty soft style. This isn't a lot stronger, and I think gets the same run. Will Price rides Sandown, as we've said, quite well. Around $4.50, $5. It's a good bet. The one here at 50s that I'll have something on, though, is Influential Girl. Has form at the track, and last prep had was beaten a nose Charlie Rose, and then beaten 2 lengths by Defibrillate. So that's decent enough form here, and it's 50s. And it does
it. Short for
it? What's that? Yeah, it is, but it's 50s, so don't need much to try. Because I don't like a lot of the rest of the race, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that, and I tend to agree with you. Look, the one that I found at double-figure odds was Don't Tell the Boss. Again, it's another one of those races. Hasn't won in a while, but it's been showing enough for me to suggest it could run well in a race like this. I think 2 starts back it was 8th, but that was behind Sovereign Award and Quantum Mechanics. So we know those horses are pretty good. Last start hit the line really well. Finished, less than half a length off 1,000 Wishes at some odds. Can put in a nice run. 2 kilo claim, 55 in okay at the weights. $10. I'll happy to have a look.
Yep. Yeah, nice. Very good. The 7th over the 1,300 meters for the 3-year-old fillies. Did you have any standouts here?
I didn't have any standouts here. Again, I went looking for something a little bit wider, and I come up with the 14.
Mm-hmm.
Ethiquini, if that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Ethiquini.
Go with that.
Look, it's been around the mark. Sits just off the pace. Last start was favourite at Bendigo and ran well enough behind More Secrets, close enough to favourite. Prior to that, won quite well at Kyneton to win its maiden. So it's not uncommon for horses to come out of maiden next start not win, but it ran really well, and hopefully it can back it up. Hopefully it'll come in a couple of gates and get in the running line and finish off hard on Sandown.
I'm with the Tony McAvoy horse Transplant. debuted in a listed race over in Adelaide. Then they brought it over to Melbourne, and it destroyed a maiden field and really looked really green in doing so. I think it might have a bit of talent, and around the $7 is on top for me. Yeah, I like what you found there with the Ether Queenie race, because there's a bit of a spruik about some of those horses it raced against that day as well, and it started favourite. So there's an opinion on that. I'm passing race 8. That was too hard for me.
Yeah, I really like the way that Approach Discreet finished off its race first up. Hit the line really hard, got really far back in that race, won by dice roll. Finished less than 2 lengths off it. I think it come from early back of the field, about 13th or 14th, and over the unsuitable 1400, hit the line really hard. You know, this is a horse that's looking for more ground. 1700 will really suit. So I'm expecting, if there's enough pace on and they can run on in this race, that Approach Discreet will be finishing hard, and hardest to beat my old mate Pruska's horse, Indispensable. Again, won well last start and has been in and around the money prior to that, but 3 to beat 5 there, but you can play on both.
Approach Discreet is the only horse here with a Saturday Sydney win, so that's got to count for something. We finish off over the 1,000 metres again with for the 3-year-old race here. What do you do with Vowmaster? Are you finding it this week? Have you had enough? What are we doing?
I'm going to give it one more crack. Well, I haven't backed it the last couple, but I think Vowmaster, if it doesn't win this race, then I don't know what the future holds for it. It's been running in far better company than this, and this looks like a very winnable race. Drawn well, Thornton aboard, 1,000 metres. Should get all the favours here after not a lot of luck last start at Caulfield against pretty good field which was won by La Mexicana. So I think it's reasonably weighted at 55.5. I mean, it carried 57 last start in that race with La Mexicana. So again, D-Day Saturday for Vowmaster, and I think it'll be hardest to beat.
I just don't know what to make of it. It was unlucky last start. I'm going to go with Sweet Zoo. Had the win here 2 starts back, and then was wide and chased home in Trepidatious last weekend. Quick back here. Gate 1 probably rolls through and sits close to the pace. If not leads like it did a few back, and could be hard to beat. The one here at 20s that I just looked at the market because it just dawned on me. Mr. Moppet was running around some pretty good races, and has some short prices in some Sydney form, and wasn't far off Written Miss just before it went out, and it's 20 to 1 here. So again, I found one at at big odds that I'll probably have a small play on. Seems to be the theme of the day for me. Back at something in the market and just outside it, but they're the 2 for me. Do you want to sum up your thought? Do you want to should we do a quarter here as well, or?
Yeah, we'll do our best in value.
Yep.
It's good at Sandown on the weekend. There's plenty of value out there. Look, my best bet of the day comes up in race 5, number 7, Dice Roll. And there was a few I had or tipped that did have some value, but the one I came up with was race 8, number 3, Approach Discreet, as my value bet of the day.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to make Cordelia my best in the 3rd race. And my value, I'll go the 2 at ridiculous odds. I think. Where are we here? Influential Girl at 50s and Mr. Moppet at 20s can both run a place, I think. Let's say that way. Cordy, you want to drive this one?
Yeah, I'll drive this one, mate. And you can put the pen through any. Again, we'll go pretty wide here. The first leg, we'll go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
Yep. Are you going to put, yep, 9. Go for it. Next.
In the next leg, we're going to go 1, 6, 11, 13, 14.
Yep.
In the next leg, we are going to go 3, 5, 6, and 7.
6, 7. I'm okay with that.
And to finish the day, we're going to go 5, 8, 10, 13, and 15.
All stardom going in. Okay. Sure. Why not? What about Valaquenta? Is there anyone I was going to ask about? Yeah or no? Leaving that out.
No, we're leaving it out.
Okay. All right. I'm happy to follow you there. Sounds good to me. Should we head over to look at the Group 1s in Adelaide? You're pretty keen to talk about Adelaide at Morphettville.
Yeah, I thought there was some decent races at Morphettville and a few nice little bets.
Yep. Where do you want to start? Race number.
Yeah, fire away, mate.
Race number 2, number 1, Lord Vladivostok coming back. Should lead and win that one. Hopefully we get about even money there. Where are you going to next?
Race 3, number 2, Sword of Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be super hard to beat going over to Adelaide.
Yep. I'm obliged to mention In Good Health. I've got an issue with that horse.
Before you do that, race 4, number 5, Wycliffe. I backed it last start, thought it'd be really hard to beat. I was a little bit disappointed. Thought it had every chance at Caulfield, but I haven't been a fan of the Caulfield track. So I think it's going to be super hard to beat over the 2,500 in the Adelaide Cup.
Cool.
Race 5, number 1, In Good Health. You've put on top.
I have. I've got a sick love affair with that horse. So yeah, I have to mention it. The Euclays, anything race 6, the Group 3.
Nothing for me.
No. Minhaj, very, very unlucky last start. Will be hard to beat.
Yep.
In a good race. The Group 1, TB Classic over the mile for the fillies and mares. $8 a field. What have you made of this?
I'm going to back Instant Celebrity. I backed it first up. Thought it'd be hard to beat. Stuck on okay for 4th. I think it'll be really better for that run. And I think that this is its race. And I think, expect to see a lot of improvement there. Hard to beat.
I think Brooklyn Hustle, I'll give it another chance. It was on that leaders track. Mask Crusader got up inside. It will be swooping out the widest and flashing home. And Mitzi was going really well up until the George Rider, but freshen up here, Gate 1, probably the 2 for me, but a very tricky race. The Group 1 Australasian Oaks marks the first time we did that show together, Beaver, a year ago, where I've put a toffee tongue on top. That was a long time ago now.
Yep.
Who have you got on top here?
Yeah, I think Stein will be winning this.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll end up last because it drew the outside last start and had to be taken back to last and just was in an impossible position to finish as close as it did. It was an outstanding run. Expect that to be super hard to beat here, and I'm hoping Jai McNeil has it slightly closer. He's able to get off the fence at the right time and give them their comeuppance.
Yeah, Gate 1 was the only sort of icky bit for me, but in these 3-year-old staying races, we've seen it plenty of times actually be quite valuable. So no one rides better races than Jai McNeil of late. So I like it as well. I think they've forgotten about the horse that beat it, though. I think they've forgotten about Taki Goddess. It's got pretty good form. It always seems going big odds, but it's placed in some Group 1 races, and it's 20-1 again. I think I will have something small in that, but I think Starnum's, like I said, it was a nice horse from the start, and I'm happy to stick with you. And nothing in the last?
Nothing in the last.
And shall we complete all 4 states here? We're going to go north for you with some very good racing in Queensland as well. Fire away.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple in Queensland. Had a good day in Queensland on Wednesday. I got two winners, and my last leg finished second. Bit unlucky, which was a bit disappointing, not to get the clean sweep. But I think Better Get Ready paid about $5.50, $6, which was a good win. So let's hope we can back it up. Race 4, number 2, Georgie's Pride, flying at the moment. Will be super hard to beat. My next bet that I do like comes up in race 7, number 4, the Sydney Sider. The horse that's been down in Sydney back to Beagle Farm is Private Eye. I think it'll be super hard to beat in a field of that quality. And finishing off the day in race 9, number 2, Fender. Very impressive first up, and no reason it can't repeat it.
And we were asked about trekking in the Victory Stakes. Did you have an opinion? Have you had a look at that race?
Look, I did have a look at the race. Trekking's not a horse of mine, so even money, I'm not so sure I'd want to be backing it. But it's outside of it. Forseca was good first up, but was suited by the track, coming down the middle of the track.
If that's run on an even track, it probably runs 5th in that race.
Yeah, that's right. So I think it might have been flattered by the first up win, and then everything else is $10 plus, and I really couldn't line them up. So I wasn't overly keen to bet in this race.
Trials of trekking were what you'd expect. They're very good. Trialing at Hawkesbury again. It's a Group 1 horse in this field, so I suppose it's got to be the marked favourite.
Exactly.
I think we've covered everything, Beaver. Good job.
We have.
Big charity day coming up, I believe, on the weekend. So did you want to give that a quick plug if you have a win over the weekend?
Yeah, mate. If you get a few dollars in your pockets, my family and I are doing the Relay for Life to remember and honour my young nephew who, at 7 years old, passed away from brain cancer. So we're Team Miller. So if you go on Relay for Life and search for the Team Miller team, you can throw a few bucks in there if you have a win. But good cause, raising money for brain cancer, and a good day for my family to get together. So, yeah.
Very good. I'll share the link on our Facebook page. So you can find us on Facebook. Show us your tips, and I'll put the link up there if people want to click through. I might even put it in the description below on YouTube. So good luck with that, mate. Pass on my best to all the fans.
Yes.
I'll chip in a little bit.
Will do.
Over the weekend as well. And I'm off to Brewer. As I said, they'll be down at the Brewer picnic races. So looking forward to that. Good luck, punters.
What race are you in?
I'm riding in the 5th. Yeah.
Or you're being ridden in the 5th.
I'll be riding one. I'll be riding Jungles in the 5th. Yeah. So good luck. Good luck. Best of the fans.
Enjoy.
Good luck to all the punters this weekend. We'll be back on. No, it's Warrnambool next week. So we'll be doing Tuesday night for the Warrnambool Cup on Wednesday. If I get the time, I'm hoping to do. And you're welcome to join me, by the way, Beaver. We'll do all 3 days of the carnival if you can manage that. How do you think?
And Daggy, is it? Yes, sounds good. And is it also worth mentioning some of the big plans we've got for next weekend?
So we're planning to go live and do a live stream throughout the afternoon. We'll put up a bank and keep track of how we're going through. I've got to double check, but we'll be using the Pro Group Racing YouTube channel, running a stream through there. We'll be kitted up for work out of time, probably about 4 hours, to be honest, and just keep track of how everything's playing. There's the Gold Coast Guineas, I believe, and some more good racing in all 3 states. So we're going to see how we go, and hopefully can have a bit of fun with that. So I've got to just
So the idea will be to stream watching myself and yourself and a couple of the boys have a punt on the day. We'll be putting our money where our mouth is, looking at our strategies, having a laugh, having a bit of banter, and with the plan of getting the punters more involved into the future.
Yep. So we're looking forward to that. I've just got to check the legalities of what we can and can't show and talk about. But I'll
just keep your clothes on, mate. It should be right.
I'll check that with the powers that be at Pro Group Racing. You can read all of the stuff at progroupracing.com.au. Check out their website too. We do need to plug them. Fantastic supporters of us and a fantastic website. Plenty more to come there. Good luck, Beaver, and good luck, punters.
See you, mate.